Hello, Dr. Jeanette Raymond here, psychologist, psychotherapist, and relationship expert, here with part 5 of my series to help you understand why your loved ones, your partner, your nearest and dearest keep pushing you away. Whenever you try to connect with them, you want some emotional connection, some intimacy, so that you feel close and sharing and enjoying the relationship. Well, in parts 1 to 4, I told you about the fear of being annihilated and wiped away, that there's only enough room for one person's feelings and it's got to be theirs, not yours. I told you about the fear that they're going to feel weak and helpless and that you're going to give them all your bad feelings and they're going to drown on it. So today, number 5, I'm going to tell you about the 5th reason, again, through my work with my clients. I often find that clients who've had very traumatic childhoods haven't had their needs met. You know, they live in homes where intimacy is shunned. It's not okay to talk about feelings. So it's not normal for them to feel like they can just talk and share and exchange and learn and grow from that. So they kind of keep it all in. But then they have a need. They see this need to share, the need to talk, the need to express, to collaborate, to exchange, to learn and grow. And they don't know what to do with that need because it makes them feel anxious. It makes them feel vulnerable. It makes them feel like they're not okay. There's something wrong with them. And it's the most important feeling that they're trying to manage is shame. The shame of feeling needy. The shame of needing another human being to talk to, which is the most normal thing in the world. But they didn't grow up that way. So to them, it's shameful. And when you try to get close and share your needs or talk to them about theirs or try to exchange your everyday experiences in life, it brings up a need in them. Oh, they're longing for it, that they can taste it. They want to grab it and hold on to it because it's so comforting. It's so warm. It's so soothing and relieving. But they can't let it happen because if they do, when are they ever going to stop? They think they're going to be insatiable. There'll be no end to it. They can't find a moment in their imagination where they can see that they'll feel full. It's like they're going to want more and more and more. Their greed will know no bounds. So better to strangle that need right in the beginning. So of course the only way they can do it is to not let you in. Because if you get in and they like it and they taste it, they're going to want more and more and more and more. And then they're going to feel needy because what if you're not there? What if you refuse? What if you ridicule them? What if you judge them? What if you just die on them, you know, and you're not there anymore? And then they have this need and they don't know what to do with it. So the best thing they can do is to strangle that need, cut it out. And the way that they do it is to make sure you don't get anywhere near them where they can taste the sweetness of your intimacy, of your sharing, of your connection, of your soothing, of your comfort, of your love. It's really, really sad, but this is what happens so much of the time. And let me share an example with you of a young man I was working with who grew up with an older sibling who was very demanding of his parents, and, you know, he would get angry. And so basically the parents gave in to him and gave him whatever he wanted to keep him quiet and keep the peace. But my client got kind of pushed aside and left behind. And when he wanted to talk about his experiences of, you know, having a problem at school or not knowing how to do something, wanting some comfort for being bullied, you know, misunderstood, not knowing how to deal with his fear at night and being in the dark and things like that. So he would just keep it in because he wasn't supposed to need anything. That was his brother. He was allowed to need, but my client wasn't. And as he grew up, anytime he felt a need to, and he had friends later on in life, he couldn't tolerate it. So he would just push them away. And whenever they came to him wanting to share their needs, he'd get very, very agitated because if he took in what they had to say, then they'd want something back from him, and then he'd feel needy. So it just wouldn't work. So the only thing he could do was to kind of isolate himself in a little ivory castle. And he would do things for other people, and then he'd feel good about himself, but he wasn't supposed to be needy. You know, he couldn't want them. But when he was lonely and miserable and, you know, anxious about things just like everybody else in life, he would want to reach out. He'd want company. He'd want soothing relief to share. But doing it made him feel so needy that he would turn it into something negative, and he would do work instead, and he'd bury himself in work and activities and go to the gym and all sorts of other things, but he mustn't feel needy. So it was hard for him to have girlfriends. It was hard for him to have regular friends, because you can't have a relationship where people's needs are not acknowledged and met, even for short periods of time. So he kind of lived in a different parallel universe, lonely, isolated, you know, scared, but strong because he wasn't needy. Until he came to work with me, and we worked on it, and now he's much more able to share and not feel needy, because he's realizing how good it makes him feel, that it's a different kind of strength that he has. It's not a strength of being alone, it's a strength of being together and giving and taking and sharing and collaborating. You can learn much more about this by going to my website, Now You Want Me, Now You Don't,